Hello and welcome to the Rising Tide market update for the December quarter 2025. Over the next 3 to 4 minutes, I will walk you through some commentary from the December quarter, touch on the stock market performance for the December quarter and 2025, and wrap up the conversation with a look at diversification, what it means here at Rising Tide and what it means to our client portfolios. Now, the December quarter was a positive quarter for global markets, with most regions finishing in the green. Big driver remains the AI thematic and the optimism around what it will do for corporate profits and global growth. However, as we wrapped up the year, the market is becoming more discerning as to the winners and losers of the AI trend. Nvidia, a clear winner, now the largest company in the world, overtaking Apple. Looking at rate cuts and inflation, the US and the UK central banks did reduce rates in those regions, citing inflation as expected and some softening economic indicators. However, the Australian Reserve Bank held rates due to inflation being a little bit more sticky than they were hoping. Trade policy continues to be a focus in global markets, and that was rammed home by the US actions in Venezuela in early January. Now, what this means for global markets in the short term is most certainly some volatility around commodities and the stock market. However, the longer term impact remains to be seen. It remains to be proven. The message here from Rising Tide is to reach out to your advisor if you have any concerns or worries about what you are seeing and your portfolio. Otherwise, to stick to your investment strategy of continuing to invest on a regular basis through the ups and downs. These are normal cycles, and your time frame will take care of the upside. The stock market performance using Vanguard as a proxy for December was up 1.3%. And the 12-month period, 2025, up 13%. A really strong year, outperforming expectations at the start of the year and above long-term averages. We can see the 10-year performance of this portfolio up around 10%. Lifting up the hood and having a look during the December quarter, the S&P 500 was up 2%, the Euro Stocks 50 up 4.3%, and the FTSE 100 up 5.8%. So the European market, a real driver during the period. The laggard was our local market here in Australia, the ASX 200 down 1%. Zooming out, looking at 2025, we can see the volatility early in the year because of that US trade war has well and truly been recovered. So it has rewarded the patient and consistent investor. China, the US, Europe, all finishing very strongly. The Australian market lagging in the latter part of the year. It is a good segue to diversification and why it is not only a buzzword here at Rising Tide, but something we take very seriously. So our client portfolios are very diversified across regions, stocks and sectors, which is what is here on your screen. What this means is the growth drivers of your portfolio are not pegged to one news flow, one headline, or one thematic in global markets. Your portfolios are very diversified, meaning your wealth creation journey depends on a lot of factors in global markets. We can see financials and information technology making up 20% each of the portfolio. The rest is really spread across a lot of industries. So I'm sure you can appreciate we have multiple growth drivers to your portfolios. Regions are an area of diversification. Clearly, the US, being the largest market in the world, is a heavyweight. But again, if we look under the hood, the stock, the top holdings of your portfolio are very, very spread and diverse. This is the top 15 companies, I believe, that make up around a quarter of most portfolios here at Rising Tide. Please reach out for any nuance. The idea is that we recognize all these companies. What has risen to the top over the last 12 months are some of those AI names like Broadcom, Nvidia, and even Goodman Group. What has dropped out of the portfolio are a few names in Australia. And that wraps up the December quarter commentary. Thank you for your time. Please reach out with any questions, concerns, or worries to your advisor here at Rising Tide, and I look forward to seeing you again in 12 months.